Okay, hello. In today's tutorial, we will be making a widget that will display stats and images like in Pokemon. So, an example would be this, so it shows its attack and shows the sprite. So, first off, what we're going to want to do is anywhere you want to make 3 different structures, and you do that by left clicking, going under blueprints, and then going down to structures. And you can name it whatever you want, but for this I'm going to name it stats. And then you want to make another one just by duplicating it, call it whatever you want, but I'm going to name it info 2, and then you want to duplicate it again and make another one call and I'm just going to name it build 1. So what you want to do is when you open stats, by double clicking, you want to change the type of the variable to an integer, and then you can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it attack, and you can add as many stats as you want: defense, special attack, whatever you want to call them, as many as you want, but I'm just going to leave it at that one. And then you go back and then you open up info. You want to change the variable name to name, and then switch that to a name type variable, which is this one that has like the purplish. You also want to make another variable, call it sprite or image, and then if you're using sprites, you want to come over here and type in paper sprite. You don't have to use sprites, but that's what I'm using. And you can create more, like a bunch more things here, but basically this is what you need to see if it's working. And then you're gonna want to go to the build struct. Okay. You want to go to the build struct and make 2 variables, and then call them info, or name them whatever you just named the other 2 structures, just so it's easier. So info 2 and build 1. So then what you want to do is come over to the right, and you want to type in the name of the structures. So you're putting the structures, no, that's not it. So you put the name of the structures there. So info 2 is what I named it, and stats. So then you do it like that, and then you save. Then, however, you want to go to wherever you're just gonna use to display these stats. So I'm gonna do it off this blueprint. First, what you want to do is get all actors of class that you're attaching these stats to, because how I have it set up is I have a master blueprint that creates child class blueprint, so it's getting all of these to display their stats. Okay, you're gonna want to make blueprint actor and name it master or whatever you want to call it. And in here, you want to add 2 variables. You want to add the basic info structure that we made and the stats structure that we made, and then compile and save. After that, off the master class, you want to create a child class blueprint, name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it chessbin. And you want to open the child class blueprint. In the child class blueprint, if you head over here, you should have the name, so you can put the name, the sprite. So if I plug in chessbin, type in chessbin, and then give it a attack stat of 67, then this blueprint houses that information. Then you want to compile and save, and then place this actor in the world, because if you don't, then the stats will not be called upon. Creates child class blueprint, so it's getting all of these to display their stats. So let's go back. So you want to get all actors of class, and then for my class I'm going to put master, because that's what I named master Pokemon. And then out of out of actors, you want for each loop, not with break, just for each loop. And then connect that to get all actors of class. Then off of array element, you want to go to the master blueprint, and under variables, you want to add those things. So I named them stats, and I added stats and basic info. Then when you make a child class blueprint of this master blueprint, you can type in those over here. So under stats, I have attack 56, info, I have the name, dex number, and sprite. So you have to do that for this to work. And then when you go back, you want to drag off of array element, type in get, you want to get stats, so it has this target. Wait, no, you don't want stats, my bad. You want the info. So get info with the target node. Then you want to drag off of it and break basic info. So I have basic info, name, dex, sprite, number. Then off of the name, you want to drag in an equals node. And make sure this one's connected to the bottom pin. Then off whatever blueprint you're setting this up in, create a variable. I have it named Pokemon name. Just type in whatever you want and set it to a name. Then you want to drag it out, get, and plug it into the top one. Then in this variable, you want to put the same name that you want to put the name that you want to get. So this one's going to call chessspin. So it has, so it's going to, this variable is going to be chessspin. Then off of the equals node, you want to bring in a branch by holding down B and connect it for loop body, and then bring in the condition. Then off of info, you want to, off the target info, you want to bring it and go right click and then click set members in basic info and connect that off of the branch node. Then out of structure out, you want to right click again and click break basic info. Wait, no, you do not want to do that, my bad. You want to right click off it and click make. You want to get make build. Oh, my bad. Nope, come on. Work with me. Okay. And then off of array element, you want to search for stats. So you get stats with targets. And off of this info, you just want to plug in basic info and plug in the stats. Then off of here, you want to cast to third person character. And for the object, you want to get player character. After this, you want to compile and save. Then you want to open up your third person character. And in the third person, you want to create a variable called current, whatever it is, current weapon, Pokemon, creature. And I put current Pokemon. And you want to plug in the build structure you made. So you do that by clicking it and clicking build, and then put build, and then you just compile, save. Then you go back to the blueprint we were just in, drag off of as current, as BP third person character, and I would type in current, and you want to set current whatever you named it. So mine's set current Pokemon. So then it sets the target, plug that into the cast of third person, and you plug this into build. And then once that's done, you want to make a widget like this. So you can make a widget by going right clicking, going to user interface, widget blueprint, then click user widget and name it whatever you want. I'm naming it BP underscore summary 1. And once you want to double click to open it, and to use any widget, you must put down a canvas panel by going up to the top left and typing in canvas panel. Then you want to add it. And then you want to search for an image as well for the image or the sprite or whatever you're using. and you want to add text. You're going to need 2 text blocks, so just add another one. So for text block 1, you're going to come over here and name it whatever stat you want it to display. So I'm going to name it attack. And then for the other text block, just move it next to that one. For the image, you want to pull off it, enlarge it so there's enough room. I'm just going to set it 600 by 600 so it's nice and even. And then when you come under appearance, it says brush, and then you're going to want to click bind, create binding. Then once you get to it says get brush in a return node. You want to cast to your third person character. Cast a BP third person character. Object, you want to get player character and just move those off of here. Then as BP third person character, you want to drag off and type in whatever that current variable was that we set, and then you want to get it. Then off of this, you want to search for the build struct. So break a build struct, and this is for the sprite or image. So you want to get base info, drag off of it, and break basic info. Then off of sprite or image, you want to drag off and right click, and then search for make slate brush, and then it should plug the image in. Then off of slate brush as the output, you plug it into the return node, and then you connect that to your third person character like that. And then if we go back to the designer, we can do the same thing for the text blocks. So you click on the text block, go over here under next to text, bind, create binding. Then we basically want to do mostly the same thing. So cast to third person character. Then for the object, you want to get player character. Off of as BP third person character, you again search for current, whatever the variable was named. So mine's current Pokemon, drag off, break build struct, and this is where it differs a little bit. Off of the break build, you want to drag off of stats and click break stats, so then it gets you a list of all your stats. Then with the return node selected, you want to come down over here to the bottom left, and you want to change it from text to integer, so they are the same, and then you just plug in whatever stat you want to display. So I'm going to display attack. If you have multiple stats, you can just repeat this process. The only thing different you have to do is which stat you plug into the return node. So compile and save. And then once you call this widget in another blueprint, so the same place we created this, I have create summary widget, and then you add it to the viewport. So then when we go in game, how this works is it shows chest spin and its attack stat for a quick explanation. But if I stop the game and I go to the other one, it shows Froakie with the attack stat. One thing about this is, although you have to place your blueprints in the world, so like the little child class blueprints that we made, you have to place in the world for it to be called upon. Otherwise, that is it for this tutorial, and I hope this has helped you find some way to display your stats or images through a single widget blueprint.